Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our PACT meeting. On your tables is a sign-in sheet, and if you have not already done so, please pass that sheet to everyone at your table. My name is Stacy Park. I'm one of the 4 community chairs for PACT. Also here this evening is Mrs. Lois Hedge and Mr. Lee Sawyer and Dr. Bill Hedge are the other two chairs. Just a reminder that all of the documents from each of our meetings are available on our official PACT website. You may also go to the district website homepage to click on the PACT logo. Tonight we're focusing on another important component in preparation for developing a facilities master plan. We will be looking at educational trends and how they impact schools of the future. We will need to think about which of these trends need to be considered when developing our facilities master plan. To lead us in this discussion, we are once again fortunate to welcome Dr. Franklin Hill and Mr. Sam Johnson.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and sorry for that slow start. I appreciate very much the opportunity to be here for what I think will be, for me and Sam Johnson, a friend and a colleague, one of our most enjoyable presentations. And that's an opportunity to put together what are some of the future trends impacting learning today, and how does it affect the design of the building, and particularly the learning environment. It's important that we prepare a master plan, and that's what this is truly all about. But we ultimately want to prepare a master plan that's going to undertake current practices and certainly plan appropriate for the future. My learning objectives for this evening are to explore a variety of future trends in education and their impacts on the design of new or remodeled educational facilities. In other words, use the term thinking out of the box. So what does one usually associate with the most incredible, natural, thinking out of the box experience? And to put it quite simply, I think it's when a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. Now, I'm not being facetious, because what happens here is what's called a whole systems change. A complete restructuring of the way we do business, if you will, or the way the caterpillar does business, and becomes a butterfly. But what's happening to many school systems, and what's happening to the St. Joseph School District, is this. We're in a situation where we're a caterpillar with wings. Sounds funny, but we're putting and undertaking many of the attributes of becoming a butterfly, but we haven't been able to shake the aspects of being a caterpillar because of the educational facilities that hold us back. So let's remind ourselves of some of the issues we're facing here in the St. Joseph School District. I'm speaking positively about the butterfly wings, but I'm going to remind us of the caterpillar body. Let's look at this issue of computer labs. Remember, we have an abundance of technology throughout the school district in the form of computer labs. But in actuality, we've moved to the next level. We've moved to laptop computers and some incredibly advanced technologies down to the preschool and kindergarten grades. Our science labs are using incredible new instructional technology. Again, laptop computers now bringing in cell phones. They're logging in data and transmitting it to a large screen projector. Within that same classroom, they're using digital connections of measuring devices that can measure the oxygen level emitted from a growing plant. That's incredible. But if you'll recall, this room only has one sink for a science lab. We're doing some incredible instructional technology using kinesthetic learning. That's where the child is touching noodles in order to create letters, or even up through your advanced biomedical program at the high school level, where they're using technology and computers combined with making a cell formation out of clay. But are there opportunities for us to even go higher and better in sensory education? At the Hilliard facility, we have robotics. Are there ways to blend that robotics education more informatively to allow students to pursue careers and connect better between the sciences, physics, chemistry, engineering, and robotics? I think there are many. Again, at Hilliard, we're talking about a connection with healthcare industry. But could we further connect through business partnerships with the medical hospitals in the region? Many school districts are. I think we can here as well. And finally, we're using multi-screen multimedia at Hilliard. Can we bring that kind of technology more effectively into our high school situations in particular? In short, we have the vision of the butterfly, but we unfortunately have the educational facilities of the caterpillar. So let's spend a minute and go into a little more detail about what I'm trying to express here. This is a diagram we may all remember from school. It's called the Bell diagram. On the left-hand side, you show a modest number of students who are at the lower end of the bell curve, and on the right, students are at the higher end of the bell curve, and most of the students are in the middle of the bell curve. But what happens when we properly start planning our educational facilities to match education and educational trends, things begin to happen. The way I suggest we do this is through the learning pyramid. At the bottom of the pyramid, doing the fundamentals, just like Vince Lombardi used to do. And I'll show you some. Curriculum change, moving up to creativity as it affects the learning process, and then ultimately teaching students about a new and competitive global community. So let's start looking at the ways by which creative planning and proper facilities affect this bell curve situation. And I might mention to you, there's an article coming out this month using these exact topics in the American Business Officials magazine. So what happens is if we do the fundamentals well, and I believe that's the first and foremost thing to always do, it moves the bell curve so that everybody benefits. Those are the low-cost, no-cost, low-hanging fruit, remodeling jobs that can improve education for all students. Next, when you move to curriculum, integrating curriculum between science and math, integrating your technologies effectively into the curriculum process, you have what I call the slide. Those students who can use that technology well starts pushing the bulge of learning and enhancing education for all students. Thirdly, you have creativity. It's those children who can not only use the technology but have higher order problem-solving skills develop. Not all at the same time, but when they do, you have what I call the hump. There's just that little bulge of extra students who are getting just an extra benefit because the technology, the curriculum, the creativity of the student, and the educational facility is coming together. And then the last element, what I call globalism. It's where they can now effectively participate in the world that they are going to need to participate in, and one that is much more international, much more competitive, much more demanding. So with that as the framework, I want to move to some specifics. Traditionally, you've had over the past what I call a K-12 model, elementary and primary grades moving to intermediate elementary. Then you have a typical junior high school, 7th and 8th grade, followed by the high school, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grades. What we agreed to do, however, at our recent meeting was to check two things: size of schools to be more effective and efficient, and also grade configuration to better align the curriculums that are emerging with the grades where they have to can best be served. In this instance, we have the primary and intermediate. Why do I break those into two categories? Because early primary has to be dealt with slightly differently than upper primary. And we can create smaller learning zones for better education, even though the building may be slightly larger to be more cost-effective and efficient. At the middle grades, we're